Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. This video is about Donald Trump and the rise of the alt-reality media. You think the truth took a hit last year? Well, it's about to get worse, a whole lot worse. Let's go to the story. So, family, Trump's victory means that the most extreme and recklessly irresponsible voices on the right now feel emboldened and empowered. And more worrisome than that, they have an ally in the White House. For years, Rush Limbaugh, pictured here on the right, has gibed about what he calls the, quote, state-controlled media, unquote, the fawning liberal news outlet that Limbaugh has long decried for their lack of critical coverage of President Obama, but we may be about to see what one actually looks like, an alt-reality news outlet operating from within 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The new media will not only provide propaganda cover for the administration, but also direct the fire of a loose confederation of conservative outlets against critics and dissenters. Already, Fox's Sean Hannity, pictured here on the right, has urged Trump to freeze out the mainstream media and talk directly to the nation. The fake news that we are now obsessing over is only the latest leading indicator of the perils of our new post-truth media political world. Indeed, what we learned this year was that the walls are down, the gatekeepers dismissed, the norms and standards of journalism and fact-based discourse trashed. So, family, you ask, what is this brave new conservative media going to look like? Well, probably more like Alex Jones. Than something like the National Review. So you have your choices. The appointment of Breitbart's Steve Bannon as chief advisor to the president-elect was the new regime's implicit imprimatur on the new conservative media, but perhaps the most revealing moment was Trump's reported call on the Monday after the election to InfoWars' Alex Jones to thank him for the support in the campaign. Jones is not your garden variety conspiracy theorist. He is a 9/11 truther who believes the U.S. government conspired in the attacks to justify the creation of a police state. He has suggested that the government also may have been behind the bombings in Oklahoma City that killed 168 people and at the Boston Marathon that killed 3. And he has repeatedly suggested that the Sandy Hook shootings were a hoax, synthetic, and completely fake. He also thinks the government wants to, quote, encourage homosexuality so people don't have children, unquote, and said that Hillary Clinton was a, quote, a freaking demon, and she stinks and so does Obama, unquote. So family, Jones has claimed that he has 5 million daily listeners to his radio shows, which he simulcasts on his website and extends through his YouTube channel. The Drudge Report routinely links to his stories. Quote, I think Alex Jones may be the single most important voice in the alternative conservative media, unquote, says Trump whisperer Roger Stone, who describes the conspiracy theorist as a, quote, a valuable asset who will rally the people around President Trump's legislative program. When he called recently, the newly elected president of the United States promised Jones to return to his show. The Washington Post called the promise an extraordinary gesture for an incoming president whose schedule is packed with calls from world leaders and the enormous task of overseeing the transition, unquote. Perhaps more disturbing was the realization that the president-elect listens to this guy. Honestly, Paul Horner, one of the creators of fake news, told the Washington Post last week, quote, people are definitely dumber They just keep passing stuff around. Nobody fact checks anything anymore. I mean, that's how Trump got elected. He just said whatever he wanted and people believed everything. And when the things he said turned out not to be true, people didn't care because they already accepted it. It's real scary. I've never seen anything like it, unquote. So when 3 days before the election, a fake news site posted, quote, FBI agent suspected in Hillary email leaks found dead, unquote, the story went viral, getting 560,000 shares on Facebook alone. Similar bogus stories were shared millions of times during the campaign, but this didn't happen in a vacuum. Such stories fit easily into a media ecosystem that embraced an Alex Jones. Now, one of the icons of this alt-reality media sits at the right hand of the new president, the self-described Leninist who wants to, quote, destroy the state, has bragged that under his leadership, Breitbart had become, in his own words, a platform for the alt-right, a movement associated with the darker corners of the right, including white nationalism and anti-Semitism. Under Brannon, Breitbart and his satellites have not hesitated to use their clout to attack other conservatives who have been insufficiently enthusiastic about embracing Trumpism. Specifically, Bannon declared it was his mission to destroy Speaker Paul Ryan, and even after the public detente between Trump and Ryan, his old website continues to relentlessly attack the conservative speaker. Well, family, this may suggest the role of the new right media, which includes talk radio, websites like Breitbart, The Drudge Report, and dozens of scam packs, is to keep dissenters in line. The media outlets function best when the dial is set at outrage, and since they are too deeply invested to be outraged at any failures or reversals from Trump world, the anger will inevitably be focused on attacking the left and launching purges of the saboteurs and dissenters on the right. Keep in mind the role that Goldstein, an archetypal enemy of the state, played in Orwell's 1984. But what about the rest of the conservative media? Well, one of the early tests will be when Trump pushes costly new entitlements or deficit-busting stimulus, or when the inevitable Trump conflict of interest scandals erupt. Skeptics in the conservative print media, National Review, Weekly Standard, Commentary, Wall Street Journal, will mix praise with censure. Well, don't expect the same from the rest of the right media. We are already seeing the pivot from hosts and outlets who had insisted that because the election was a binary choice, they had to downplay Trump's flaws and instead attack Clinton. But they promised after the election they would hold Trump accountable. And, surprisingly, after Trump backed off his pledge to prosecute Clinton, Breitbart ran a headline calling it, quote, a broken promise, unquote. But whatever their pledges of independence and skepticism, the centrifugal forces of the newly emboldened right media are already proving too strong. Well, family, as we've learned, predictions are risky, but it seems unlikely that Trump will, in fact, disavow Jones anytime soon. Drudge will continue to link his conspiracy theories. They will continue to be posted on hundreds of thousands of fake book pages. Talkers will provide defenses and rationalizations, and the lines between fake news and reality will get even thinner. And the social media attacks on conservative dissenters will only escalate in intensity. Well, family, welcome to the media in the age of Trump. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is Guru. Until the next video, peace and love to you and yours. Take care.